Okay, thank you very much for accepting our invitation. And what is your first impression about Mongolia? And brief introduction for yourself, where you come from, and how many days you have a trip into Mongolia.
We have, just in reverse order, we're here for 2.5 weeks. I come from Canada. I come from the middle part of Canada. And much of Canada looks a lot like this, our prairie. It used to be populated by buffalo now, and yours by horse. And I saw my first Przolski horse in Western Canada in a game park in 1962.
1962, wow.
And I was quite taken, and I don't know why I was, because I'm not a person that colonized. So they had been there in the time of dinosaurs, but they were extinct. So as you Mongolia is the home of the horse, for all practical purposes, and I think that's what was really remarkable. It was to see the Przolski horse. So it left an impression on me. It's probably not the main reason that I came here, but it was certainly a big bonus to have that.
Of course. So, next question is: the Canada is much more far from Mongolia, and why you decided to come? How many years you plan to come here?
Probably 5 years.
5 years.
My wife and I like to travel a lot, so we've been to many countries, and we particularly like many of the countries in Asia, and because they're not so well known in our education system of the history of things like the Silk Road and the various empires of both India and China and the Russian Empire. It's sort of a discovery for us, and whereas any person who knows very much about European history is very aware of the Mongols and of the Huns, and they had a dramatic impact on history, and so
one way is that the history is much more impacted to come to Mongolia, right?
I think it's a big factor to understand how a country which by any measure is other than its physical size is quite small.
Okay.
It's not dense. It's the least populated country in the world per square kilometer. There's only 3 million people, and most of them live in a city. And yet, this is a country with a huge history to it.
Of course.
And continues to be a remarkable development story because it's between two giants.
Yes.
And, as a Canadian, I live next door to the United States, and I guess Russia across the ocean. But it's being next to a big country has issues, and being next to two big countries, both with historical issues with you, it makes it fascinating to see how this country thrives and has a distinct identity. I think identity is a big deal, and for a small country to preserve, cherish, and even grow it into their children's sense of who they are and who they will be and how they will be. I think that's always a wonderful story. The Irish do it.
Yes.
There's a few small countries, Iceland, they manage to have way more influence, Jamaica, than their numbers would say.
Yes, but how many days you will travel ahead? 10 days or 1 week?
We have 10 days this first route, down to the Gobi and to the Flaming Cliffs, and then we have about a week after that to go over to the Golden Eagle Festival, which we saw.
Deep western part of Mongolia.
Yeah, in the Tuva,
Tuva,
area, and we saw obviously the Hollywood documentary on it, The Eagle Huntress, but also the British fellow Buchanan, who came at the same year, 2016. So we were fascinated by that, and we always sort of thought be interesting to see, because that's an even smaller culture within the small Mongolian culture. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for
Thank you very much.
accepting
Okay.
interview, and
Yes.
have a good trip for the Mongolia, rest of the Mongolia.
Thank you very
and
much.
hopefully you will spread the history of our country, your friends, your family.
And your future. And the future.
Thank you. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
thank you.